Hello, welcome back to Numerology for everyone. In today's video, we're going to look at part 2 of the character numbers. If you're unsure of what your own character number is, or if you need a refresher course on their elements and the yin-yang nature, please check out my previous videos through the links provided in the description below. We are just starting out and would really appreciate your support for the detailed course on numerology that I'm trying to put together for everyone. So please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. To recap, we looked into the notion of duality in the concepts of yin and yang, as well as the 5 elements, with the understanding that everything in the world can be assigned one of the 5 elements, as well as a particular yin and yang nature. When applied to the character numbers in numerology, we assign the metal elements to the characters 1 and 6, the water element to characters 2 and 7, and so on and so forth. If you recall from the previous video, odd numbers are considered yang and even numbers are considered yin. So, the metal elements can be further divided into a yin metal 6 and a yang metal 1. Cool, right? So now, let's try to find out what each element and the number tells us about the character. Let's start with the metal numbers 1 and 6. When reading the numbers, we try to generate an imagery based on two things. Firstly, the elements and the yin-yang nature. Then, we look at the number itself. What do I mean? Take for example the metal elements 1 and 6. We can picture in our minds objects that are made of metal. So for example, a sword, a pen, gold coins, and many others. What are they like? Probably strong, malleable, weak conductors of heat. And another property that you might notice is they look the same over long periods of time. So if we extend this to a person, we could say that they are strong-willed, independent people. Metal is also often used to represent thoughts and emotions because they are flexible and they can take many forms. Furthermore, as metal makes up most of the objects we hold or use daily, it is also used to represent touch. And metal element people can be sensitive, like how metals are good conductors of heat. If we look at the yin and yang metal separately, the yang metal could be thought of as sharper, larger, and in some cases less refined metal objects. Now, if we look at the number 1 and use a little bit of our imagination, we could see that it represents a pen or a knife or just being first in general. So if we put all of these together, we could say that a character 1 person is a thinker and a writer. He is not afraid of conflicts, and with his intellect, he will be able to cut through them like hot knife through butter. And therefore, he's an ideal leader. As all metal element character people, the person would love touches and would be sensitive to the feelings of those around him. What about the yin metal? In contrast to the yang metal that is used for pointing, cutting, and creating stuff, the yin metal will be more like precious gold and jewelry that we hold in our hands. Because they are much closer to us, they feel a lot of the heat and therefore are more sensitive in the emotional department. Next, if we think of the number 1 as signifying a person, wouldn't number 6 look like a pregnant woman? When taken together, we say that a character 6 person is good with money, and like how your gold coins don't rust or change over time, they tend to look really young or the same even after many years. They have good luck and fortune, and like a mom, they are very family orientated and would excel at taking care of their peers and people beneath them. Cool, right? If any of you out there are metal element people, hope you found this part accurate, and if you do, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And share this video with your friends. Next, let's move on to the water elements. But before we move on, maybe you could pause the video and try to see what kind of imagery you can come up with for the water element numbers 2 and 7. Water can take many forms, and therefore the water element people are very flexible, not just in their thoughts, but you can see it from the way they talk. They love talking because the government water element govern taste. They are also probably foodies. Splitting the numbers into the yin and yang nature, the water number 2 can be thought of as small water, so stuff like your morning dew, mist in cold winter mornings, and even tiny water droplets like the one here. The important thing about water is connectivity. Even though mist itself gives an image of being weak, they are all connected and can obscure vision when there are a lot of them. Tiny water droplets, if given enough time, when continuously dripped on the same spot, can even pierce the hardest of stones. So character 2 people may seem nice and pushovers, weak on the outside, but in the inside, they are very, very determined. Extending from the number itself, it gives us an image of rope or even snake, which tells us a lot about their communication skills and the ability to talk themselves out of any situation. In short, everyone loves the small water because of how attractive they are. So character 2 people tend to be very attractive, especially if they're females. They can be indecisive at times, hate awkward silences, tend to avoid conflicts, but can always get themselves out of these sticky situations by their flexible and adaptive communication style. What about the young water? Like the ocean and seas, the large water washes you away with everything else. They are flexible and conversational like the character 2, but they are outwardly projecting and tend to grab everyone. So it's not hard to find number 7s in the middle of the party as they're really people's person. Number 7 is also a lucky number, and the character number 7s are very, very lucky. Simply put, their creativity and conversational skills can be used to convince and win over people very easily. Their adaptive style of communication make them good troubleshooters and networking pros. If you're a water element person and find the above to be accurate, please leave a comment down below in the comment section and tell me more about yourself. In today's lesson, we discuss in detail about the metal and water elements. The metal element governs touch and emotions, while the water element is responsible for speaking and is linked to attractiveness. Each of these characters draw their nature from the yin and yang elements, as well as partly from the number itself. Having gone through the metal and water elements together, do you think that you could do the same for the rest of the character numbers? I might have gone through a little bit fast during the video, so if you're unsure about certain things, you can go back and listen to it again. Or if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. In the next lesson, we'll be going over the remaining character numbers. Please like, share, and subscribe to support more similar content. Till the next video. See ya!